Welcome, everybody. John Arvosis here. Oh, another day, more Ukraine news. How's everybody? Woo, lots of news, as always. No, another busy day. Kind of funny. Last weekend or whenever it was, I felt like the news was going away. It was so slow. And now it's been very busy again. Yeah. Yeah. And cue the Russians on TikTok, of course. As always, I've got TikTok over there on my iPad. And then I've got YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, LinkedIn, something, Facebook. There we go. Over on my laptop. So, and my voice is still a mess. I'm finally going to my allergy doctor tomorrow. So everyone will be happy to know because I've had it with my voice doing this. It's driving me crazy. I did see the Ukrainian First Lady was talking to Congress today. Yep. She was, oops, hello. Anyway, so as always, we wait till about 5 after to officially start because it gives people a chance to arrive on TikTok and arrive on YouTube and everywhere else. So for the first 5 minutes, folks, just introduce yourselves as always. Say where you're from. I will have a little more hot tea because my voice is just trying to drive me nuts at this point. I did see that. Yeah, Elizabeth noted that the group that created the Bayraktar song, Bayraktar, has created a song for the HIMARS, which is the rocket system that the U.S. provided the Ukrainians, and that we've been slowly giving more and more to them, and that the Ukrainians have been using to great effect to blow up the Russian ammunition depots, among other things. And I have no idea why the LinkedIn video freezes, James. That's very annoying. Couldn't tell you why. I could tell you, go over to YouTube, maybe. It's probably the easiest. I mean, you could go over to Facebook too, but YouTube is probably easiest. I'll show people again over here. That's my name on YouTube. You can Google my name on YouTube and then find me. Someone 777 is from Ukraine. Hello, Ukraine. Привет. Good to see you guys. Anyway, yeah, well, try to help, guys. Hopefully all of us together doing what we can. As always, we'll go another 3 minutes and then we'll start, since I like to wait for everybody to get the notice. Although TikTok looks like you got a pretty good notice early on today. Usually it takes a little longer to build up the TikTokers, but I can see YouTube and everybody is still kind of arriving. So, oh my God, this voice thing is just driving me up the wall. And I have yet another friend who came down with COVID, actually 2 in the last week. So thank you, Baby Shoe, for the headpiece. So I'm very glad I got my booster on Sunday, because this was the reason I was going to hold off on the booster for the new shots. And I just got tired of all my friends coming down with, or either friends or acquaintance friends. This guy's a decent friend, though, who just got it too. So I was like, oh, I'm going to see a doctor tomorrow. I'm going to see my allergy doc because that's still bothering me. And, he's going to look and see if this is because of my nose, my allergies, which I hope it is, although it's very annoying. Because if it is, I'm not sure what we do about it. But in any case, yeah, your husband and neighbors. Yeah, no, it's so far, I don't know anybody recently who's gotten it bad. Booster made me sick for a day. I had the Moderna booster, and that day I was fine. The next day I started feeling ill. By the time I did the show, I really was feeling ill, but I would still say it made me feel like I had 40% of a flu. So it wasn't sick, but it was still 40% where you're feeling really gross and, that kind of thing. So, so there you go. All right. Another 2 minutes, guys, and we'll do it. But yeah, lots of, actually, including breaking news. So we've got lots of news today, really. So very interesting. Interesting. Lisa says she likes it better on TikTok than YouTube. It's funny. So many of the other people prefer YouTube. Well, I get more of you on TikTok, but the YouTubers like it because they say it's quiet. Well, I don't know if it's quiet. It's quieter in a way. They don't get nearly as many trolls as you guys get here. Here is like, troll central for the first 15, 20, 25 minutes. But anyway, what do you do? Oh, man. Oh, my God. You had your Moderna boosters kicked your ass? Yeah, a number of my friends who got Moderna. My poor friend Damien, who you guys met, who was watching one of the hearings with me. Poor Damien was like violently ill. I mean, throwing up the whole thing from his booster. I mean, he still says it was worth it, because better than dying from the virus, but it got him very sick. For me, I just didn't feel great. I mean, I felt lousy the next day, and now it's gone. So it's good. Anyway, all right, one more minute, guys, or half a minute, and we're good. Well, actually, you know what? I think we're at 5 after. I can start now. Anyway, so hey, everybody, John Arvosis here. You are not a troll because you disagree. You would be a troll if you were rude about it. But if you're simply disagreeing, you are welcome. I welcome disagreement. I just don't welcome rudeness. And honestly, the trolls are pretty obvious. They literally sit there and, even though it's in writing, it's like they're going, nah, 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 and this kind of crazy stuff. It's just calling me stupid. I mean, you know what I mean? It's that kind of stuff. Anyway, thank you, Iggy. So, folks, the way this works is I will do the news for about 20 minutes or so, and then I will do questions and answers. On TikTok, as always, questions and answers, the easiest way to do it, loses, exactly. Don't be a loser. The easiest way to do it is to go to my profile, and on the profile, if you look closely, you will see Q&A in red. Click the Q&A. You can put your questions down there, and that way I can pick them up later very easily. For the rest of you, use the comment box, obviously. And if you want to buy Super Chat questions, that would be very nice of you as well. And I always, salut Strasbourg. And I will always make a point of trying to get to your Super Chat question immediately. If I forget, everyone else will remind me. But also, I will always get to Super Chat questions. Marianne, you are here again. Welcome. I can't always get to all the questions because there's too many, but Super Chat I will always get to. And finally, and we're ready to get rolling, all of you on TikTok, I very much appreciate the gifts. Keep them coming. And I will always try to say thank you when you get me those. Yeah, I am a DC insider. I've worked here for 30 years. That's why I get to talk about this stuff, because I actually understand politics. I'm a big believer in expertise. I really am. It always kind of annoyed me when people would sort of criticize people from DC. I realize, one party in particular kind of enjoys pretending like everybody in DC is, I don't know what, out of touch, except that then all these guys are in DC, I'm not Jewish, although I would love to be Jewish because the Jewish guys I know are really hot and smart, but what do you do? Great culture as well. But it's I have learned over the years that to be successful in politics, you have to really understand how to do politics. And people in DC, also in state capitals, I mean, obviously people who know how to do it locally, but nationally, you got to work in DC to understand how to do it right. And that's one of the advantages I've got here. The other thing is, more specifically, it teaches you how to get things done in politics. And in my case, hopefully, and I'll get to the news right after this, it helps me understand what's going on so I can actually give you the news, but also say, okay, here's what I mean, for example, I'm very critical of Biden on the Ukraine aid. I don't think he's giving enough. And my work in politics influences why I think Biden's doing that, right? That I can kind of read between the lines. So anyways, I just wanted to say that because somebody sort of said, oh my God, you're such an insider. And yeah, I am, damn it. Absolutely. And that's why you should believe me, because I know what I'm doing. And people who aren't from DC have no clue how things work here. So there you go. So there's a really big story that broke right before I came out. So I pulled it up actually on my screen. Defense One has it, which they're good people. They're trustworthy news folks. Let me just read this to you. Ukraine may get Western fighter jets and pilot training to aid in its conflict with Russia, U.S. Air Force Chief of Staff General C.Q. Brown Jr. said, but he doesn't know precisely what kind of fighter jets they would be. This guy is literally the head of the U.S. Air Force, okay? The head of the Air Force. Chairman of the Joint Chiefs, Mark Milley, in a separate engagement on Wednesday, emphasized that no decisions had been made. Fair enough. At the Aspen Security Summit in Aspen, Colorado on Wednesday, Brown, the head of the Air Force, hinted strongly that the idea of getting Western jets into Ukraine is now on the table. Quote, there's U.S. jets, there's Gripen out of Sweden, there's the Eurofighter, there's the French Rafale. So there's a number of different platforms that could go to Ukraine, he said, in response to a question on if the U.S. might be willing to sell or provide Ukraine U.S. fighter jets. I can't tell you exactly what it's going to be. Now, what is fascinating about that is he's not saying like, well, I don't know, nobody's talking about giving them fighters. He's actually saying, well, you see, there's like a number of Western fighters. I can't tell you which one it's going to be. In other words, he's saying it's going to be. It's absolutely going to be. I just don't know which Western fighter they're going to get. That is huge. Now, I will say this, remember way back at the beginning of the war when Ukraine was getting those the MiG fighter jets out of Poland, and we all went, yay. And then 3 days later, Biden killed it. Well, Biden and Germany both, I think, killed it. It's not a done deal until it's a done deal. So that's my only fear. Biden could still kill it. Biden could still freak out about something about Putin, right? And change his mind. Unfortunately, I get the sense he does that. This is, as I was saying at the beginning, I am not a great fan of Biden on how he's doing with this right now. I'm a great fan of how he did it at the beginning, pulling everybody together, all the allies. But right now, he's too scared. So let's see. But that is really good news because at least now, mind you, the last possibility, but I don't think this is true. It's possible the Air Force Chief of Staff was intentionally getting ahead of himself to kind of, I don't know, maybe get the ball rolling, but I don't think that's the case. I think he's saying what he knows is going on, and that's great news for Ukraine. So in other news, the U.S. announced that we're sending, by the way, I totally called this yesterday. Remember yesterday when we said, oh, the U.S. has announced that they're going to send more HIMARS, the medium range, the rocket systems, of which we only provide medium range rockets. It can take long range rockets, but we won't give them. We're going to give them more of these HIMARS systems. And I said, I guarantee you, we're only sending 4. Because it's not enough for what Ukraine needs, but it lets us slowly every 3 weeks, we give them 4 more. What do you know? We're giving them 4. Yep, exactly, Blake. That is exactly how many they're getting. In other news, hang on, a little bit of this. Actually, 1 second. I'm even gonna take a pill to see if it helps me with my asthma. I'm telling you, I am looking forward to going to the doctor tomorrow. Finally. All right, we'll see. So Bloomberg just announced I'm talking about Lavrov. Don't worry, it's coming up. Bloomberg, the publication just announced that the International Criminal Court at The Hague, the court that does war crimes trials, says the first case against Russia could be as early, they said the first case could be as early as this winter. The initial case could be presented by the end of the year or early next year. Now, I should say they didn't necessarily say against Russia, right? Remember, there was one incident where it looked like some Ukrainian troops had killed some Russian soldiers that were their prisoners. So it's still possible it could be that trial too coming up. And frankly, if they did, they deserve it. They deserve to be. I mean, you don't get to kill your prisoners. That's not the way it works, especially if you don't want your guys to get killed. But pretty much it looks like they mean the first trial against the Russians is going to happen around Christmas or right after the New Year. I think that's very interesting because the language of it too, the first case means, which kind of makes sense, but I guess I didn't think it would work this way. It means they're going case by case. They're going to have trial by trial, which I guess you would do because this is a case where you've got Bucha and you've got multiple people at Bucha. You've got other cities where things happened, right? Borodianka, I mean, all of these different cities where war crimes happened. Each war crime is going to be a different trial. And frankly, it could even be multiple trials. So this is the first case, which makes me think also that's what Carol just said. This could be a lot of trials, which means this may never go away for Russia because it's going to be nonstop war crimes trials. That would be great. I mean, I would love it. Let's see what happens. All right. So I'm looking at the comments, but nobody's really weighing in on this, which is fine. The stuff you guys are talking about on Facebook, etc., I've got coming up. The New York Times says that, this is interesting, actually. So this is all about Kherson, which is, as I always tell you guys, the province of Ukraine that's down here, all right, down in this area. It's the first big city, Kherson, that the Russians captured of the Ukrainians. And it's where the Ukrainians are making a big pushback against the Russians. They're starting to do well, by the way. And it is expected that the Ukrainians may do a really big counteroffensive coming up. What is interesting is we are seeing more and more operations that might suggest a counteroffensive hasn't started, but might be starting soon. In other words, there's just more and more bombings going on. They shot down oh, by the way, they shot down a Russian fighter jet yesterday. That's what I was referring to. Somebody was saying that, oh, is this the jet that that the Russians themselves shot down? And I was telling you, I thought this was a different story. This is a different story. The Ukrainians shot down a Russian fighter jet over Kherson. They blew up a Russian radar system. They used using missiles fired from more than 60 miles away. That was a very interesting data point. Hang on, fighter jet. Oh, and they struck warehouses that are crucial for resupplying Russian forces west of the Dnipro River. The Dnipro is this river going through here, okay? Now, it gets more here. Ukrainian forces also struck a cluster of Russian forces. Also a cluster of Russian forces in the area, adding that casualties were still being assessed. The reason I bring this up is, okay, here we go. Because there was a piece from UK intelligence as well. This is what I'm telling you. The other thing, actually, sorry, I'm thinking of too many things at once. The other thing, the last couple of days, I've been talking about Novakhovka and how in the last week, the Ukrainians have hit that town 3 times. It's Ukrainian town occupied by the Russians. 2 different times, they blew up, I believe, ammunition depots, supplies of ammunition. Once, they might have hit a Russian military base. I finally looked on the map, and Novakhovka, I mean, it's almost hard for you to even see, but where the tip of my finger is where Novakhovka is. It is right here in the middle, not the middle, but right close to the top of the Kherson Oblast, which is the region that they want to take back, and it's right on the river. And this river is key. And the next thing I'm going to tell you about is why the river is important. So hang on, put my glasses down as I was talking to you. There we go. This is from United Kingdom intelligence. Why the river, oh, here we go. Yeah, right. Why Kherson, its bridge and the river matters. Russia continues to make minimal gains in its Donbass offensive. This is UK, United Kingdom intelligence reporting today. They're making minimum gains in the Donbass offensive, which is the offensive in the far east of Ukraine, with Ukrainian forces holding the line. That's good. On July 19th, which would be yesterday, the authorities in Russian-occupied Kherson, which is the province I was just telling you about, reported that the Antonovsky Bridge over the Dnieper River had been struck by Ukrainian forces using the HIMARS. The HIMARS is that medium-range rocket system that I just talked about that the U.S. is sending 4 more. Kind of funny. You see all these stories kind of tie together. Now, this bridge they hit, what do you know? It is literally the bridge that is, you see Kherson? Kherson is right here. Kind of hard to tell, but it's just north of the river. The bridge goes across the river right at Kherson. This is key because this is Russian-occupied territory that they stole in 2014. This is Russian-occupied territory that they stole this year. And this bridge goes across and connects to a sliver of Russian-controlled territory, but it is, frankly, the bridge the Russians would use to try to invade the rest of Ukraine, and it's the bridge the Russians are using to supply a lot of their troops. So the Ukrainians hit it hard yesterday using the HIMARS. One line here I thought was a little odd. I was wondering if somebody who knows Ukraine better could explain this. The quote from UK intelligence was, "The bridge has been the main transit route for Russian supplies coming in from Crimea, which Moscow annexed in 2014. Now, here's the problem I've got. Why would a bridge right here be the main route for Russian supplies coming in from here? Wouldn't the Russian supplies from here come up here and then go up? Because mind you, Russia occupies this. This is what Russia occupies. Why wouldn't they come up and go up like this? Why would they go all the way across this bridge and then over when most of this, Like they only occupy a little bit here north of the river. I don't get it. And they didn't quite explain it in UK intelligence. But anyway, I'm throwing it out there. And listen, I mean, this is really for somebody who truly knows Ukraine and would know why this would be considered a route that the Russians would use crossing the bridge. Well, that's the only thing I'm wondering is yeah, to the left is saying infrastructure, better roads. It could be better roads. It could also be railway. Maybe they're able to access the railway up there. Thank you, Candace. The railway up there, and that's how they're able to move over. Either way, incredibly important bridge for them. The Ukrainians hit it today with 11 more missiles. Very interesting. Crimea, I understand. I'm talking about why you would want to go north of the bridge, north of the river. Why wouldn't you just go up and shoot over? You know? No, it's the Antonovsky Bridge. It's right here. It's the Antonovsky Bridge. The Antonovsky is the bridge. I mean, I Googled it. It's the bridge between going across the Dnipro. The whole article is about the Dnipro River. Yeah, it makes no sense. In any case, 11 more missiles hit the bridge on Wednesday, according to the deputy head of the pro-Russia administration in Kherson. Social media posts show apparent battle damage. It is one of only 2 road crossing points over the Dnieper by which the Russians can supply or withdraw its forces in the territory it has occupied west of the river. The area includes the city of Kherson, which is politically and symbolically important to Russia. That's pretty much it. In any case, the Ukrainians keep hitting them hard, which is good. And frankly, all of this looks more like the preparations for a larger invasion in that area, which would be really nice if it were. I don't know about that. Is there Liam is asking if the new HIMARS being sent is the tracked system, not the wheeled. I thought all HIMARS were wheeled. We don't have a HIMARS that has tracks on it, do we? Not the HIMARS. Pretty sure. Am I right, military folks? Is there a HIMARS that has tracks on it like a tank? Or are they not all wheeled? That's what I was thinking, what Blake said. The tracks is the MLRS system. Yeah. There you go. Yep. Okay. Just asking on some of that. Yep. The M270 is a HIMAR on tracks. Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. So we do have both, but they're getting the HIMARS. So it's going to have wheels. Oh, yeah. So, okay. So Putin and Lavrov. So Putin and Lavrov have both been saying, Lavrov especially, who's the Russian foreign minister, he gives an interview and he claims now that rather than just annex, the Russians, of course, we knew from the beginning that the Russians were planning on stealing all of Ukraine if they could take it and annex the entire country. I mean, it was a given, right? Even though the Russians wouldn't admit it. The Russians, however, claimed, oh no, this isn't about imperialism. Remember, all our goal is to get rid of the NZs in the government and to demilitarize the country. Russia was never going to take it over or anything else. Well, then they changed their mind and said, oh, we're going to annex this region out here, Donbass, which is made up of actually 2 regions, right? Luhansk and Donetsk. So they were planning to annex all of this. Well, now today they're saying, oh, well, you know what? We think we want to annex these 2 as well. In other words, the Zaporizhia region and the Kherson region, which would mean annexing all of this. They already annexed Crimea illegally, that they would illegally annex all of this as well, right? That whole chunk to Russia. Now, Lavrov, the foreign minister, gives this talk today, this interview, and the reason he gives for why now they're talking about annexing these 2 regions down here, the reason he gives is, well, after the U.S. provided the HIMARS rocket system, that changed everything, and now we just have to annex even more of Ukraine. I mean, the thing is, on its face, it doesn't even make sense, right? Oh, the U.S. provided rocket systems that are causing more damage, so you're going to take even more. Yeah, the HIMARS made me do it. Exactly what News JPEG is saying. The HIMARS made me do it. I mean, absolutely incredible. Hang on a second. Hang on. All right, who's being trolly? Is somebody not? All right. Anyway, I assume we've got moderators going that are taking care of YouTube. Only because Royston's complaining to me, and I'm assuming that means somebody isn't. Okay, who's the troll? Who's the troll? Sorry, guys. Oh, he's gone? All right. Well, also because I can't make any of you guys moderators from here. Okay. Do we not have any mods over on YouTube right now? Yes or no, guys? Help me here. I want to continue. All right, guys, let's get rolling. All right, next time, don't just tell me, John, we have a troll. Give me the information. This is sort of the same thing I tell you guys when you tell me I miss a question. Give me the question because I can't scroll back. It's too many. I've got all of your comments on every platform here, so I can't see it. Okay, we don't need mods today. All right, hold on a second. Let me pull this up. 1 second, guys. I will pull this up and hopefully fix the YouTube problem. This happens occasionally. We don't have any mods on YouTube today. This is why I like to have more mods just to be sure, because that way nobody feels compelled to actually be here every day, which is a good thing. Hang on, guys. Like I said, sorry. Your channel. All right. Let me get in here. Pause. All right. Now I can see you guys. All right. All right. Roshan, whose name I will never pronounce correctly. You're now a mod. Let me add Harvey. I'm going to make you a mod. And I don't want to add too many at once also because we're trying to be careful just for the basic issue of also, the more people that are mods, the greater risk one person's account gets hacked and then multiple people, get hacked. So let's start with you two for now. All right. If you don't mind. And just like I said, the rule for mods is actual trolls. I don't want people disagreeing, but somebody who's getting just ornery and making a mess. Any case, guys, let me get back to this. So what is interesting about this is first, you've got the Russians talking about taking that entire swath now, okay, including the other additional regions of Kherson and Zaporizhia. First problem, right? Second problem, listen to this. And this was from the Institute for the Study of War, which is that think tank that I really like here in Washington, D.C., the defense think tank that a lot of the defense experts look to. Listen to this, okay? Putin could leverage nuclear threats to deter a Ukrainian counteroffensive into annexed Kherson, Zaporizhia, Donetsk, and Luhansk. What that means is after Putin annexes all of this that he stole this year, after he annexes all of it, Putin could say, well, I've annexed those regions. They're Russia now. If Ukraine tries to attack those regions, they would be stealing Russian land and we would nuke them. And we would nuke any Western country that helped them do it because you would be breaking your promise about not having Ukraine attack Russia with your weapons. How's that for utter BS, right? Now, knowing Putin, I think Putin would make that threat. Putin and those guys love to make nuclear threats. What worries me is whether the West would take it, whether the Germans, the French, and Biden would freak out if Putin did that, or whether they would say, go to hell, it's Ukraine, stop making the threats. It's not going to make a damn bit of difference. Frankly, the fact that this is even out there now, if Biden knew what he was doing, Biden would slip the question to a reporter and say, ask me about this. And you'd slip it to the reporter, and the reporter would ask you and say, well, President Biden, there's talk about what if he annexes these territories? Wouldn't Ukraine be violating their promise to you not to attack Russian territory? And Biden would say, no, the annexations would be illegal. It's not Russia, it's Ukraine. Ukraine's allowed to go after Ukraine. Boom. And you put it, and he threatens nuclear weapons. Yeah, he threatens nuclear weapons all the time. It's Ukraine. I mean, but this is where I say, thank you, Kel Kalkin. This is where I say you have to really slam down Putin's nuclear rhetoric too, because he keeps saying it, we keep not responding, and I feel like it's leaving it vague, In any case, that's something to keep an eye on, because when I read that disturbed me. Because I could just see somebody in the West going, Putin's got a point. Even if he doesn't have a point, Putin thinks it's his territory now and it's Russia. And if it's Russia, what if he nukes, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, you get it. Actually, this is what bothered me too. Institute of the Study of War throws in a sentence in their analysis, and they're really good, which is what scares me. Ukraine and its Western partners may have a narrowing window of opportunity to support a Ukrainian counteroffensive into occupied Ukrainian territory before the Kremlin annexes the territory. Why would it matter? I mean, what does it matter? Like the day before or the week before Russia annexes versus the week after Russia annexes? What's the difference? How does that change the window of opportunity for Ukraine to invade and get its land back? Right? I mean, does anybody have any clue what that's even talking about? I read that and it scares me that that's exactly it. That somehow people think it's different if Ukraine invades after the Russians declare, oh, illegally, this is Russia now, right? I mean, they're not in Russia. Yeah, I do want to fight there. They're not in Russia. Our equipment can bomb whatever it wants in Ukraine. It doesn't matter if the Russians claim it's Russia. Same thing with Crimea. There's no problem with them hitting the bridges in Crimea. Crimea is Ukraine. It's not attacking Russia. You know? I mean, I do. I think it's belittling the invasion. I think it's weird. There's something weird about it. Yeah, America doesn't want its 60 billion back. Russia wants America to want its 60 billion back, and you are leaving the building. That is how you tell who a troll is, because that's a comment that's from a Russian. That's not a comment from somebody disagreeing. Exactly. All right, more here, guys. Reuters, the European Union told member states today to cut natural gas usage by 15% through next March. So we're talking, all the way through the beginning of next year. The European states are trying to ensure that storage facilities are 80% full by November 1st, like once winter kicks in, from about 65% full right now. So the idea is Europe keeps buying the amount of natural gas it normally would buy, but it cuts back, so it's got a surplus, and that surplus keeps going into the storage. So hopefully, if Russia cuts them off entirely, it gives them much more time to, before they're in trouble because they've got natural gas saved. Now, let me pull this up. Hey, Joseph, only giving small numbers of equipment. Only giving small numbers of equipment 4 at a time could possibly be to do with training the Ukrainians. I don't think so. I mean, I believe you, but I don't think so. And only sending stock when next group has been trained, but it's only a guess. Excuse me. I hear you. The only thing is, we trained these guys. Didn't we? I'm trying to think. Didn't we train 200 of them? Remember when the training happened months ago? Was it not the HIMARS? What were they trained on? Wasn't it the HIMARS, guys? What am I thinking of? Because I remember we got up to 200 within a short period of time, and this was easily 3 months ago, if not 4 months ago. Yeah, I mean, maybe availability. Honestly, I wish they would say, although maybe they're not saying, yeah, 200 were trained on the HIMARS. Thanks, Jack. That's exactly what I thought. And that was, no, because it was a very specific artillery. I don't think so. Well, this is artillery, by the way, really. I mean, so to speak. But Jack is saying he agrees with me. I think it was HIMARS. I mean, there could be a legitimate reason why they're not able to get more to them. I mean, that's what I was saying. It is artillery. Thank you, MP3. I mean, I'm not a military guy, but I do try to, study up on this stuff. Javelins, maybe. Any case, it doesn't matter. But I think they fear the Russians are going to get upset with them, not even capture it. Maybe. Sofa Boy, you do realize the Russians are losing even more frontline troops, do you? So I'm not sure what your point is. What, the Ukrainians should go and stop fighting for their homeland that's being invaded? Would you do that? Because, actually, my guess is you're in Moscow, but even if you're not in Moscow, you'd stop fighting because, gosh, we're losing a lot of people. Maybe we should just let the bad guy take over? Seriously? Come on. No, that could be true. It could be taking time to get them there and to get them to the front. Maybe. Although that does not explain why we are giving them only the medium range rockets and not the long range rockets, right? We're only giving them the rockets that can go, well, conservatively 43 miles rather than conservatively 186 miles. There's no excuse for that. And that isn't because of training or anything else. That's because Biden's scared, or fearful, to use an even worse word. Boop, 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 boop. Zaporizhia Oblast governor. So Zaporizhia, which again, that's what I thought. They trained the trainers to train others. Yeah. Any case, it was a lot of training, and it was way back 3-4 months ago was that training. I remember that. It was not recent. Any case, Zaporizhia Oblast, so Zaporizhia over here, occupied by the Russians. The governor said in a televised address that around 400 civilians, employees at the Zaporizhia nuclear power plant, and local administration officials are currently being held hostage by the Russians. So the Russians are now doing the exact same BS that they did at Chernobyl, where they've now taken the employees hostage at the nuclear plant. It's just the same freaking story over and over again with these people. This was a horrible story. I just saw this before coming on with you guys. Ivan Rusev, an environmental scientist at Ukraine's Tuzly Estuary National Nature Park, estimates at least 5,000 dolphins have died in the Black Sea between March and July. This number is 3 times higher compared to pre-war figures. Dolphins use echolocation, also known as sonar, to communicate, find food, and navigate. The constant underwater noise caused by submarines of Russia's Black Sea Fleet and their powerful hydrocollators, as well as explosions, is causing dolphins acoustic trauma, paralyzing this vital echolocation system. Just horrible. And they have a horrible picture of a dead dolphin, too. I was like, oh, God, it looked like Flipper. The Russians are going after Wikipedia again. Russia's communications watchdog said on Wednesday it was taking steps to punish the Wikimedia Foundation, which owns Wikipedia, for violating Russian law around the conflict in Ukraine. Let me read this to you. It's great. Roskomnadzor, whatever, the communications watchdog in Russia, said that Wikipedia still hosted prohibited materials, including fakes about the course of the special military operation on the territory of Ukraine. Thank you, Harvey. Oh, hey, Harvey. Thank you. And that search engines would be used to inform users that Wikimedia violated Russian law. Links to Wikipedia would be accompanied by a disclaimer warning users about legal violations by Wikipedia. Now, mind you, think about this, right? The Russians think the solution is the Russian government is going to put a disclaimer that says, don't believe this information about the war in Ukraine. What do you think of, especially on Russians, what effect do you think is going to have on most Russians when they see the government say, don't believe this information about the war? They're going to say, oh, that information about the war must be the good stuff. Otherwise, the government wouldn't be trying to censor it, right? I mean, that's sort of my thought. The Wikimedia Foundation on June 13th appealed a Moscow court ruling fining it 5 million rubles or $91,000 for refusing to remove what it termed disinformation from Russian language Wikipedia articles on the Ukraine conflict, including, listen to the 3 pages the Russians had a problem with: the Russian invasion of Ukraine, war crimes during the Russian invasion of Ukraine, and the massacre in Bucha. I will say this, the fact that the Russians are so freaked out about a Wikipedia page about Bucha means we should be talking about Bucha 100 times more often than we are, because it's clearly got them freaked out. Beirut did a really good thing today. The port in Beirut rejected Russian ships that tried to land with or go to port with stolen Ukrainian grain. According to Ukraine's defense ministry intelligence directorate, on July 13th, the Russian dry cargo ships, whatever, 2 names of the ships, with 54 tons of Ukrainian grain planned to enter the port of Beirut, but the Lebanese authorities prohibited the ships from unloading there. So the ships instead went to the ports of Latakia and Tartus in Syria. From there, Ukrainian grain will be delivered to the Middle East and North Africa. So it doesn't stop it from being stolen, but you know what? I mean, good for Beirut. Good for Beirut for doing that. So they've been through a lot, deserve a little credit. Now, I don't know the last little Ukrainian bit I've got. If you guys saw yesterday, hang on a sec. Oh, that's recommended videos. That's funny. My nephew's just showing me. My nephew sent me a picture. Look who made my YouTube recommended videos. Just started watching. That's actually very funny that YouTube just happened to recommend my nephew, who does not have my last name, to watch my videos. That's cute. Sorry. I just saw that. I was like, oh, that's fun. So there was a video yesterday I'm going to show you of Erdogan and Putin. And Putin, hang on here. Putin and Erdogan, the president of Turkey, are meeting yesterday, okay? And Putin comes into the room, and the cameras are there, and basically they're meeting right now. So comes into the room, all the press is there, taking pictures of Putin. Let me show you what happens. I added music. I put it on TikTok. It did very well, but I put it to music, and you can watch. Hopefully it's close enough that both of you can watch. Here, we got a little. That's Putin. He's kind of blowing his cheek out like this. You know he's pissed. And Erdogan is doing this to him on purpose. And the cameras are just rolling. I love how they even zoom in on him. See, so finally Erdogan comes in. Actually, like, what's interesting is the smile on Putin's face. Putin put a huge smile on his face for this. When he's greeting Erdogan, he literally is like, basically Putin is trying to milk it as much as he can that he's meeting with a member of NATO who's being difficult, right? And Putin is the one, thank you, smiling. Putin is the one who usually makes everybody else wait before they can see him. And I forgot, who did he have wait 2 hours? Was it Macron? I don't remember that he had to wait 2 hours. And I would have walked out of the building. Thank you, Louis, for that. I mean, literally more than 15, 20 minutes, I would have been like, I'm the head of state of a big country. After 20 minutes, we're leaving, and we're leaving the country. Because clearly at that point, you're doing it for a reason. But 2 hours, I would have been like, literally, there better be a national security crisis, and you better prove it to me. Thank you, Purnell. It was Macron. It figures it was Macron. And Macron, of course, waited, of course. I thought it was pretty good of Erdogan, I have to say. And some other folks in the comments mentioned that, this isn't the kind of thing Erdogan would have necessarily done to Putin before the war. But now that Putin basically doesn't have that strong of an army anymore, now we know, right? More tea. Anyway, it was good. Anyway, it was good. That's all I got today, guys. So we can jump right in with questions. I can go to, I can either discuss what we're discussing here real quick, or we can jump to the Q&A there. Oh, he did. Yeah. Sheikh is bringing up that one time Putin brought a dog to a meeting with Angela Merkel knowing she's allergic. She isn't allergic. She's terrified of dogs. He knew that Angela Merkel was terrified of dogs. Let me pull this up. It's horrific. And so Putin brings his and it was a big, scary dog. And he brought it into the room and had it basically jump on Angela Merkel to be a jerk. And honestly, I mean, I still think that's when you get up and you go, I'm leaving. And you just embarrass him. I'm leaving. And you go out to the press, you say, he's not serious. He's not serious. He doesn't want to have a serious meeting with, we're not dealing with a serious head of state. When President Putin learns how to be a grown man, I'll meet with him. But right now he's a little boy. And oh my God, it would infuriate him. People back home would probably think this is great. I mean, from your own, your own leader showing balls. Yeah, let me look at this picture in particular. Hold on. This is sort of the archetypal picture here. Hang on. He's such a jerk. I mean, I'll show you first, but also get close. She's sitting back in the chair and trying not to freak out, deathly terrified of dogs. And he does this and just lets the dog walk around and come up and meet her. I mean, he's a jerk. He's an absolute jerk. Look at her, the way her legs are crossed, the way her hands are. She composed herself well, but, little Mr. Smirk there. No, he's a jerk. He's a jerk. Pity? Okay, well, that isn't English, which is how we know you're a... You are very ridiculous. You are very ridiculous and pity. Dude, it's just not English. You should have added dude. You are very ridiculous and pity, dude. Bye-bye. Pity. You're leaving us, dude. I don't know, but he just left. Yeah, I'm doing my leftover green tea here. I've been putting in the fridge every night and then having it for a couple of days. Yeah, no, he's a jerk. He's a jerk. Absolute jerk. So let me go to TikTok and see if you guys threw in any questions. Otherwise, we can do it this way. It's just a little easier kind of doing it. Oh, he's I have a Ukrainian replying to me as I'm on my hey, I'm on my live right now. Want to join us? He's a volunteer actually with Harkovu Mir, which is the nonprofit that we've been working with that actually helped deliver all the medicine, food, and everything else to the people with disabilities. And Vlad already said the first half of the deliveries already went through, and they're doing the second half of the deliveries later this week. Say I might make you go live. Let's see if he answers. That's very funny. I like that. Hello. Little did you know. Little did you know I'm going to sucker you into meeting everybody on the thing here. That wasn't an Indian accent, was it? I didn't mean to do an Indian accent. I didn't even know I did an accent. See, I'm from Chicago, and we just do accents when we talk. We just do accents when we talk, and it's kind of the funniest thing. We just do accents, and we don't quite know whose accent or why we're doing it. But that's really funny. Oh, hold on. Is your English good enough? I think I'm terrifying. I'm saying, is your English good enough to come on? He's going to be like, oh God, I don't want to come on live with you. 1 second. I'm trying to rope in a Ukrainian here, guys. Oh, it's on, I should say, yeah, on TikTok. This is TikTok. He may not want to. Any case, let me see what else we got going on here while I'm waiting for poor, well, it says Mark. I think he's Marco, though. This is his English profile. How is it? I have to practice an Aussie accent to be able to. Can I? Hold on. Either now or next time. I'm trying to see. Of course, it's always hard to figure out how to actually add people. Oh, it is 2 a.m. Yeah, good point. Hold on. I'm trying to tell him really quick. We can try on the weekend when I do 2 p.m. Eastern time, US. Okay. Oh, that's good. Okay. He said he'd love to. It's just 2 in the morning there right now. I was like, okay, fair enough. We're not going to make you speak to a bunch of people all over the world at 2 a.m. But he seems very nice, though. He's a volunteer there, is a musician and everything in Ukraine. So he seems like a nice guy. And as always kind of fun just to bring more Ukrainians on, especially Ukrainians that are there. How is it tolerated that Turkey just bombed civilian vacationers in Iraqi Kurdistan? Oh, did they? Did they? Has there been a NATO reaction? That's interesting. Has there been a NATO reaction? I mean, I don't know well enough what we have and haven't done before. I'd have to hear the Aussies speak. Well, that's not doing an Aussie accent right now. Now we're talking about the Kurds bombing the Turks bombing the Kurds. I wouldn't be surprised though if the U.S. gave a reaction. Now the only thing is the U.S. is going to be really careful because of the war right now. So actually, they may not give a reaction right now. They may not. Because we're afraid of kind of losing him as an ally, which also may be why he's doing it, because he knows he can get away with it. Marion, media questions. Further info on TV Rain? Don't have it. How is that YouTube or anyone is broadcasting into Russia? I don't know. YouTube supposedly is still going on. It's still going on in Russia. They haven't banned it yet, and I don't know why. Maybe they think they're getting their information out there. I don't know. Didn't the internet get cut off? Not the internet. They cut off specific, like, was it Instagram and these kind of things they cut off? They cut off VPNs for sure. They also cut off certain sites and things. Like I think Instagram might have been cut off. Facebook might have been cut off because they got pissed at Facebook. Remember at one point, Facebook said, Facebook and Instagram are together, right? I always forget that. At one point, Facebook said they were going to allow, Meta got cut off completely. They were going to allow Ukrainians to post, in essence, hate speech about Russians that normally wouldn't be allowed. But because it's about their invaders, they could say, we want the invaders to die and this kind of stuff that they normally wouldn't allow. And the Russians got so pissed, they banned Facebook. But they've still got internet and they still get YouTube, which seems kind of crazy to me because you can imagine, like, how would they let Russians even watch this, with people from all over the world chiming in agreement. I mean, I don't know. But yeah, the VPNs they cracked down on maybe a month, maybe 6 weeks ago. They cracked down on the VPNs. So I don't really know. Now I don't know what the state of the Russian internet is. But supposedly YouTube was still not cracked down on yet. I don't know. I am Thomas. I am going to do a watch party tomorrow night. Tomorrow night is the next hearing for the January 6th Insurrection Committee in the U.S. House. They're doing the next hearing tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Let me actually look and make sure it's still happening because they seem to change their dates and times a lot. But plan is 8 p.m. Eastern time U.S. So again, New York City time. Let me see here. 7:21, 8 p.m. It's still on for tomorrow at 8 p.m. So we're going to watch, which means I'm going to skip doing this tomorrow because otherwise I'll be exhausted and the voice thing. So we will, I will set something up for 8 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. It's probably going to go 2 or 3 hours. I'm going to guess 2 hours would be their goal, but it may go longer. And that way we can hang out. I mean, typically we don't talk a lot anyway because we're trying to listen, but it still can be kind of fun to join together and do it. Russia does have their own version of YouTube. Honest to God, I think it's called RuTube. And somebody hacked it, Syndicate was telling me about this, stole all of their backups and deleted them. So they deleted like 90, it would be like deleting 90% of the videos on YouTube and deleting all of YouTube's backups. Yeah. And this was a couple months ago. I don't know what happened now, but that was the report at the time. And yes, I'm seeing a doctor tomorrow about my voice. So fret not. So there you go. Yes, I will set up a thing. Like I said, after this tonight, I'll set up the thing for tomorrow night, the watch party. Thank you, Flower Lady. Just saying. Do you think China is going to become more involved with Russia, or do you think they may be coming more to the Western side? I just feel like China's still kind of holding off and dealing with both. I mean, you know, I don't know. I mean, the thing is, we're not really hearing. I mean, we did hear that one story in the last week that China might have been helping on some of the tech stuff, right? But otherwise, interestingly, we're not hearing from the administration. You'd think the administration would call China out. I mean, there's no reason for them not to call China out if China's being bad, you know? Tomorrow you will still make videos about you. Oh yeah, I'll still do videos about Ukraine. Correct. I'll still do my TikTok videos, but we won't do the show tomorrow night. I know Rude Tube. Yeah, no, I think they call it Rude Tube, don't they? Like it sounds kind of a dumb name, but whatever. Because to me it sounds like Rube Tube, which a Rube isn't a Rube kind of like a moron, an idiot. I always forget the exact definition. It's not a polite term, basically. What else we got here? It will last around 2 hours, according to sources. Thomas, I didn't know you had sources. It'll last around 2 hours. That would be my thought. Yep. If they're doing it at, and I thought everybody excuse as well. If they're doing it at 8 p.m. Eastern, they're going to want to be over by 10 probably. You know, the heat could be affecting my voice. I don't think so. I think now the heat wave means the air quality is going to be much worse and pollution and everything else. That could be doing it. It could be the asthma drugs I'm taking. It could be postnasal drip. I mean, I want him to look at least so he goes, oh yeah, everything's, everything's red. So that means it's whatever. Because my throat feels fine. It's just, this is ridiculous. Yes, I assumed you saw it somewhere else. No offense. Have you thought about doing a collaboration with Operator Starsky? I know that name. He's a famous YouTube active Ukrainian serviceman. Russia is losing. I saw that. I remember the name because I thought it was funny. Operator Starsky, because it made me think of Starsky and Hutch, which might be why he picked the name. But that he's a Ukrainian and took the name Starsky. I would love to do so. Are you kidding? I'd love to do something with him. I mean, sure. I'm not sure what the collaboration would be. I don't know how it quite works with YouTube. I mean, I know I can invite people just straight away with this, but I don't know if YouTube can tie both creators' accounts to each other to do the production. That would be very cool. So sure. I mean, I don't know the guy, but I'd be game. I mean, I'd love to do more stuff with more Ukrainians anyway. Like I said, just get them on the show and whatever, just have them talk. And somebody who's active military would be really interesting, obviously. It's his name, Starsky? Get out of here. Starsky? There weren't even any Americans named Starsky other than Starsky on Starsky and Hutch, which was a great police show in the early 1970s. Thank you, Marcy. All right, Chris. Anyway, all right, let me, sorry, I'm yawning again. That's good. I think I'm yawning from the pills I took before to see if it would help my chest. Okay, good. He says his English is not professional, but he can. Yeah, this is the Ukrainian I was talking to earlier. The thing that I find funny is, did I tell you guys this once when I was doing a YouTube video? I think it was for my blog maybe. And we were doing these, what do you call them? The flash mobs. And Michael Jackson had just died. And I was in Paris and we were doing flash mobs in honor as an homage to Michael Jackson. And they were Michael Jackson flash mobs that we got up singing and dancing. We were, dancing to Beat It or whatever it was. And I mean, what a fun thing to do, by the way. You're in Paris and you get to do this. And this was the year I had my retinal detachment. So I had 3 months in Paris basically to do this kind of crap. And one of the woman who coordinated it was this friend of ours. God, I'm forgetting her name right now. I've got it in my address book. Lovely woman. Worked at a consulting firm, very smart and super French and totally embarrassed of her super French accent. And I told her, I said, I want to interview you, but let's do it in English because and I do see your question, Sky. Let's do it in English for my, because it's for my American blog audience. And she's like, oh no, I could not do it in English. It would be so embarrassing. No, she literally over the top, it would be so embarrassing if I did it in English. And I'm doing a bad version. Her accent was the most sultry French accent you have ever heard from a woman in your life. And I looked at her and I went, you have no idea. I said, every man in America and a lot of women too are going to fall in love with you with your bad accent in English. But it still cracked me up. Like people. So anyway, he was just saying his English isn't professional. And I'm like, dude, you're going to be that much more impactful not having professional English, you know? I mean, to me at least, if English is too good on a foreigner, I find them less interesting. It's a horrible thing to say, but like an Italian with a good, strong accent, be still my heart, you know? Anyway, I'll tell him that later, but it makes me laugh. It is true, though. It's totally true. He has a dog named Hutch. Tell me he doesn't have a dog named Hutch. Are you being serious? I will check my TikTok questions right now. Good idea. TikTok questions. All right, Mark, I got to get back to my questions here. Q&A. Could we send in air support and not announce it? Well, I mean, it depends what you mean by send air support, right? We could not announce it. The problem is the Russians are going to know, they've got good radar. So the Russians will know if we're flying in. So it all depends. And it depends what the air support is. If you mean, could we fly in supplies? Part of the question becomes, do the Russians shoot us down? Because if they do shoot us down, then there's a problem because then we go to war. So I kind of feel like any kind of war, any kind of air support is still very risky at this point. There we go. What is the update on the children's paintings? No update. I've been so busy. I think what I'm going to have to do I'll probably, maybe not for the voice, but I'll probably have to take a couple days off because I'm not getting the Discord updated. Syndicate has done great work on it, and I need to edit some of the stuff, and I haven't had time. And I haven't had I started looking into the auction stuff, found one or two sites that are possible outside of eBay, because eBay charges like such a high percentage. Well, eBay charges like 15%. One site is a little bit less. The advantage of eBay, I still think I might do eBay. I mean, the advantage of eBay is lots of people are on eBay, so potentially you get more people. And I just feel, and a lot of people know how to use eBay, right? I'm talking the kids' drawings that I got from Ukraine that Vlad had sent me. So many people use eBay and know how to use it that there's more trust. If I used another service, you would have to, download the service and sign up for it. I mean, Etsy does, and this is for bidding though. We're talking about people bidding on the pictures, so Etsy doesn't do that. I believe. Wouldn't Etsy be selling them? We don't want to sell them. We want people to bid on them. Although Vlad, Syndicate did say he had an auction function on the Discord, but again, it limits it if it's on the Discord itself. You know what I mean? So I'd kind of like to at least, anyway, we'll see. We have to see how I don't know. We'll see. I mean, I wouldn't mind also having a few of them that are just for you guys, except maybe we do that on the Discord. You know what I mean? So you guys can actually bid to get some of them. And maybe we do some on eBay and see how it goes. Maybe it gets a bigger audience. Maybe the bigger audience doesn't believe it's real. You know what I mean? You guys know me, so you know it's real. that I got these from Ukraine and they're done by kids. But somebody else looking is going to go, sure, these are from Ukrainian kids. Give me a break, right? So who knows? Any case. But yes, I need to take a few days off so I actually can get this stuff done, because every day, by the time we get into the afternoon, I'm trying to do videos on TikTok, and then I'm already trying to get rolling, with this stuff. So, all right. Sky Queen. Yes. I'm guessing that the peace talks between Ukraine and Russia is officially done with. They're not officially done with, but they're officially not starting again yet. Am I reading the headline news wrong? Excuse me. They're not starting yet. Ukraine had said at one point something to the effect of they wanted to wait until August at least. And I think the idea from Ukraine was They want to start being able to fight back, get some of their land back, get a significant quantity of these HIMARS rocket systems, maybe even get the long-range missiles that we would send them, right? So all of a sudden you get these, and the Ukrainians start pushing back hard, and now they say, okay, we're willing to negotiate now that you're getting your butt kicked, Russia, and now that it looks like we can kick you out of everything, let's talk. But they don't want to talk until then. At this point, I think it makes sense, because at this point, I'm still not convinced Ukraine can win, but things are getting better for Ukraine as time goes on, in that both sides are getting tired. Somebody had explained it to me this way. Both sides are getting exhausted. Both sides are losing a lot of troops to injury and death, right? Both sides are losing equipment. Russia's replacing its equipment with older equipment. Ukraine's replacing its equipment with newer equipment from the West. It's not 100%. Thank you, Rainbow Rain, for that. It's not 100% of the equipment they're getting is the new equipment from the West, but we keep giving them more and more and better each time. And now we're even talking about possibly giving them Western fighter jets, right? So that starts to shift the balance. At least Russia starts to go down a little and Ukraine starts to go up a little, and it gets interesting. And if we give Ukraine the long-range rocket systems, that would truly be a game changer. I mean, not the long-range rocket systems. They've got the systems, the long-range rockets. They've got the systems that can shoot a couple hundred miles, but we're only giving them shells that can shoot 40, 50 miles. So there you go. And Colleen just threw this up, which I just happened to see, even though, yes, the Secret Service one is, the story's getting a little confused. I actually did a video, then I took it down because the story's just getting very confused. Bottom line is, the news today was that the Secret Service found one text message and gave it to Congress. One freaking text message in the time period around the insurrection. Basically, they let their staff delete all of them, which was really pretty freaking bad. Thyroid. Yeah, they've checked my thyroid a lot, actually. My entire female side of my family, all the way up to my grandmother, have thyroid problems or have had thyroid problems. I have been checked every year. I have a lot of symptoms that would make you think I've got a thyroid problem. My thyroid's been fine, and all the indicators are fine. So again, let's see what my guy says, but I'm with you. Finishing up the tea here. All right, one more. All right. That's it for the tea. Troll's got no chance now. Oh, yeah? Yeah, Royston's a mod. So is Harvey. Only because, exactly, sometimes we don't have mods. So I will gradually make more people mods when needed. What was pointed out to me, which was a very good idea. If we have too many accounts that are mods, eventually somebody's account will get hacked, or there's a risk of someone's account getting hacked, and then they're able to come in and cause lots of damage. And we don't want that to happen. So that's why I'm still not just like, I recognize a lot of you, but I'd rather not make everybody a mod. This way you can throw your weight around, Harvey and Royshin, whose name I can never pronounce, but at least I made you a mod. Not sure if you saw, but I read a quote today from Mark Milley that essentially said the number of HIMARS systems are not the problem. It's ammo stockpile. Let's see what Mark Milley said today, who's the chairman of the Joint Chiefs in the U.S. Hang on. HIMARS. Let's see what he said. Let's see. All right. Looking at the Reuters article. Yeah. All right. Milley said Ukraine had used HIMARS to hit Russian command and control nodes, logistic network, air defense sites. About 200 Ukrainian forces. Here we go. About 200 Ukrainian forces have been trained on the HIMARS, and none of the systems had been destroyed by the Russians, Milley said. He added, an issue would be the rate of ammunition being used by Ukrainian forces, though there will he means using too much is what he means. Not that there's not enough. I mean, not that they've got too much ammunition, though there would be no impact on the readiness of the United States in the next couple of months at the current rate. Milley said the Donbas region had not been lost by Ukraine's yet, and described it as a grinding war of attrition. Yeah. An issue would be the rate of ammunition being used. Now, again, I'm not sure what that means. To me, that clearly means Roshin. Okay, but I'm going to kill you people. Whenever you are telling someone how to pronounce a word, you have to give stress. Otherwise, it's useless. Like, people were doing this with me. Yulia was doing this with me too, with how to say the town, but what Bervinkove or Barvinkove, but she wasn't showing the stress. And like, which syllable is accented? I know it's Roshin, but is it Roshin? 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 Which one is it? That only makes it harder. See, Mel is doing it here too. Always give people the stress. The stressed syllable is written in all caps. There you go. Roshin. Thank you. Now I got it. Okay, that helps. Thank you. Always got to do that, folks. You've always got to give people, to show what syllable is accented, use all caps. I'm just saying that's the easiest way for anything you're doing if you're giving somebody a name. So like I said, Barvinkove, I would write Barvin, V-E-E-N caps, and then ko dash ve. So they go, oh, it's Barvin ko ve. So you can get like the different parts of it and also the stress. Otherwise, nobody knows how to pronounce it if you don't tell them where, right? Like Erevosis. It's Erevosis. I'll put VO capitalized if I'm showing someone how to pronounce my name. Okay. That's my uptight lesson of the day, but it does help a lot, actually. It helps a lot. Barvinkove. That's the town in which the people with the disabilities are. Oh, and I mailed the patch away today to Ann Parker's in Canada, so she'll be getting it sometime soon. So yeah, the Milley quote is interesting. The Milley quote could mean two things about the ammunition for the HIMARS. It could mean that the U.S. can only give them so much because of our stockpile to protect ourselves, or the Ukrainians will want to go through it very quickly, and we can't give them as much as they want. Ervosis is a Greek surname, correct. So that I don't know. Sasha's doing very well, thank you. But I think it means that maybe, I guess that's a possibility too. You're right. He could be saying that the Ukrainian needs for ammunition are greater than the number of guns we can give them. So that if we gave them more guns, it wouldn't help because they need more ammunition anyway. You know? But I still feel like then you split up the HIMARS more and you split up the ammunition more. I don't know. Anyway, whatever. All right, little while longer here. Shouldn't Ukraine blow up the pipeline? Depends which pipeline, but if it's a pipeline going to Europe, they probably shouldn't because it'll piss off a lot of Europeans. So if it's one of those pipelines going through Ukraine from Russia on the way to Europe, they really don't have a choice. Now, I would say in the end, I wouldn't have Ukraine tell them this, but it wouldn't be bad. Good night, Eric. It wouldn't be bad for the Europeans to think that if they screw around too much, because if Ukraine starts losing the war for real and the Europeans are dilly-dallying, I would be like, that pipeline's gone. Because the last thing because Europe's already toast, they're not helping us, and at least we're going to stop Russia from making more money, which only helps them destroy our country. So, we'll see. We shall see. I don't know, Craig. That's a good question on just how much ammunition can be made and supplied. Is the Russian Federation planning on annexing the stolen land so when Ukraine attacks, the Russian Federation will declare war? Well, yeah. I mean, that's the concern is that, as I said earlier, that Russia is going to claim that all the land that it occupies now in Ukraine is Russian. And once it's Russian, if the Ukrainians try to fight back, they're going to say Ukraine is blowing up Russian territory using NATO weapons, and if they seize 1 foot of Russian land, we're going to nuke them. And the appropriate response to that is, you do that, and we're going to nuke you, and it's going to be the end of the world. So grow the F up and stop talking like a child. But that's the appropriate response. Is, yeah, I don't think so. It's Ukrainian land, and we're going to give you the same answer we gave before. You use nukes, and the game is over for you. You're going to cease to exist as a country, Thank you, Patty, for that. Anyway, Syndicate, you are a little late. That's okay. You don't have to. Well, like my French teacher said to me, Monsieur Avosis, vous n'êtes pas toujours là, mais vous êtes toujours là. Because I was always the kidster in class. So he's saying, Mr. Avosis, you're never there, but you're always there. Basically meaning like you're always there with the, bon mot. You're always there with the singer, even though you're not always there. Because I'd miss class a lot. But yeah, I'm about to close up shop, Syndicate. I've been doing earlier because of my voice. And tomorrow, go to my doctor. Actually, it's already 7:15. I'll stop with the substance. I could try to read the summary. But I was telling everybody I may even take a few days off in the coming days to, tomorrow we're going to do a live tomorrow night to watch the hearings rather than do a Ukraine update. But we'll see. I may take a few days weekend or something so that I actually have time. I'm going to do the recap right now so that I actually have time to finish the Discord and talk to you about the auction stuff and all that kind of stuff. I just don't have time. As soon as my day starts, I've got to do some TikToks, and then I'm planning for the show. So and then when I'm done with this, I'm tired. So I do need a few days off so we can do this. Yes, they did hit the bridge with the HIMARS. You think it was a test, Raymond says. It was not very successful, except they all hit a small area. They hit it yesterday, and they hit it again today with 11 more rockets. So who knows? Sasha's been hiding lately. I think she's still in my bedroom. Yeah. She's hiding under my bed. Now, I don't like to get her when she's sleeping. I will say the problem let me do my update, but the problem I've been having with Sasha has been that I bought myself 2 stands for some wonderful speakers that I got last year. And I've got a main speaker, sound bar under my TV. That's lovely. I've got a cheap one that's actually cheap. I mean, they're not cheap, but it's not a $1,200 soundbar. It's a wonderful one, highly recommended. The Sonos one, very good. Well, I got 2 of the Sonos side speakers several months ago because I was like, they were on sale, and I'd like the surround sound feel of having 2 speakers. Actually, like behind me on YouTube, that's one of them right there. And the other one is you can see my stand right there, right? So actually, well, you guys too. You can see it over my shoulder on a little stick right there. So what I found was, and people, it's kind of funny because people will tell you that sound guys have told me in the past that when you've got your speakers like that, lifting them off the floor gives them much better sound. Well, I never lifted mine off the floor. I had some previous ones before I moved to New York, and I always had them on the floor. It was easier. This time, the stands I liked were on sale for Prime Day, 25% off. And I said, I'm buying them. I like to splurge, but I like to get discounts. They look great. They sound amazing. Like the sound is totally different than on the floor. And what happens? Every time they kick in, my dog starts shaking because she thinks it's thunder. This has now happened 3 days in a row. I got these things on Prime Day, which was a week ago. I'm beside myself right now. It is driving me. It happened before the show. I had to take her out because she was so freaking out. When we go for a walk, she calms down. She was sitting here next to me and she shakes. I mean, she shakes and you feel horrible. So I just do a triangle distance between them and you. Oh, they are. They're a 60-degree angle. But the problem is they're good. If there was like fighting going on and the music started to go boom, boom, and she The Miss Puppy figured out. So I put it lower. I'm going to start low, I think, and maybe like every month go up one notch and see if she gets used to it. But I mean, Jesus, like this, you've seen my TV. I like my TV, you know? Anyway, poor Sasha. But I felt horrible today. I was like, but also going, I can't believe this. This is the third time I've had it for a week, and she's done it 3 times now. That she's just gone like, and I could tell because she sits there and goes like this, and I'm like, it's not thunder. Oh God. All right. 4 more HIMARS are being sent to Ukraine. The Air Force chief, U.S. Air Force chief, seemed to suggest that some Western fighters will be given to Ukraine, not clear from which country. Bloomberg says that the International Criminal Court at The Hague will start its first war crimes case as early as this winter or early next year. The New York Times says that Ukrainian forces have blown up a lot of things in Kherson Oblast. Just that. They've been blowing up a lot of things lately, probably preparing for a counteroffensive. UK intelligence was talking about the fact that, as we were just discussing a minute ago, that the Ukrainians have been trying to blow up a bridge in Kherson going right across the river there, and how it's a key strategic bridge. They hit it yesterday and today. No updates on how they're doing. Putin and Lavrov are now saying that they want to annex all of southern Ukraine, including Kherson and Zaporizhia. The concern there, some are having, is if Putin tries to leverage his nuclear threats to deter a Ukrainian counteroffensive by saying, once he declares that everything that's been invaded is Russia, then he's going to claim that Ukraine trying to get the land back is Ukraine trying to steal Russian land. And he's going to say, I'm going to nuke you if you do that. And we better be ready for him to say it, because we need to be ready to tell him to go F himself if he says that. And we better be, and not freak out. So help me God, Biden gives a bad answer on that one, and I'm calling my friends at Newsweek and saying I want to write a piece, because I've had it with this crap. Anyway, Reuters says the European Union has told member states of the EU on Wednesday to cut gas usage by 15% through next March in order to build up a surplus in storage. The Zaporizhia Oblast governor says 400 civilians, including many who work at the Zaporizhia nuclear plant, have been taken hostage by the Russians. A Ukrainian environmental scientist says 5,000 dolphins have died in the Black Sea between March and July. This is the number of deaths is 3 times higher than normal. And I mean, normal is not good, but this is 3 times higher. Wikipedia, the Russians are going after Wikipedia because they're saying that Wikipedia is letting them publish prohibited materials, telling fake information about the war, including calling it a war. And Beirut turned away 2 Russian ships that were trying to bring in stolen Ukrainian grains. The Lebanese told them to go to hell, which was kind of great. And then I showed you a very funny video of Erdogan making Putin wait for a minute in front of all the television cameras and get very, very upset, which was very funny. So it made me laugh. Oh, thank you, Melissa. That was sweet of you. All right, guys, I'll hang for a minute or two, but not much talking here. Tomorrow, like I said, 8 p.m. Eastern, I'll set it up for 7:45, Any case, you know how it works. When you look, it'll tell you on YouTube or Facebook or whatever, and TikTok, it'll give you the actual time in your time zone for when it is, which is the best way to do it. So I will literally set it up the next thing once we sign off. So it'll be up, 10 minutes after we sign off, you'll find it. So I am the best. A little sleepy. I think it's because I had some pills to see if it would help my chest. I still haven't decided if it did. Thank you, Dan, for the hat. But it is making me yawn. Yes. Oh, sorry. I slept okay. I'm still waking up early, though, which I don't like. I actually have to convince myself to go to bed a little earlier. The problem is I go and get ready for bed, and then I read in bed, and I'll read in bed for half an hour, 45 minutes, and it's like, stop. you know? So it ain't good. It ain't good. Syndicate, we had, I don't know if you're still there, because for Syndicate, it's also an obscene hour. We had many, many trolls tonight on YouTube and no moderators. So I made Roshin and Harvey honorary moderators just to fill in. They did well, but we had the trolls suddenly descend. So it worked. I don't even know if Syndicate's still there. Syndicate may have signed off. Oh, he's there. Okay. You're there. But I told him your point, which is a good point, is being careful on how many people we have as moderators, because it does up the risk of, finally somebody's account gets hacked. But as long as people are active, actually, I would say everybody, actually, especially if your moderator is helping me with this, you should have 2-factor authentication turned on, things like that anyway. You should absolutely have that. I mean, I have it now on for everything. Somebody tried to log into my Facebook account today. I got the notice from Facebook. They were trying to do password recovery on my accounts. And I was like, and it wasn't a mistake. They used my email address. I'm like, hello. So Facebook notified me. Actually, Facebook is kind of neat. Facebook has some kind of souped up security for, I don't know, like, I'm not a blue check mark or anything on Facebook, but somehow I got the offer and I accepted it. Maybe because I was down as media or whatever, but they've got some like souped up, stronger security for those who need it. And I got it. So I turned it on, and it means their algorithms are paying more attention, to people trying to get into my account and stuff. So it was very good. But like I said, I've got 2-factor on and everything else. So maybe they'll get in there, but good luck, guys. I'm not an idiot. But yeah, I use 2-factor on everything. If you haven't used it and don't know how to use it, look it up. Once you get used to it, it's quite easy. You can, it's not the best to have it send you an email or text your phone, because people can fake it. That's still better than nothing, right? Because then they got to at least steal your phone card or whatever. I prefer to location to India and add a special extra. I don't even know what that means. It sounds pornographic, though. What does that mean, Syndicate? Anyway. Oh, I did not even see the Maryland primary. Yeah, but you should definitely have it on. Red Yawn. That's good. New Eravos' movie, Red Yawn. Exactly. He takes it to the Russians and then he falls asleep. Red Yawn. But yeah, I like it actually. And I like to use the apps. I'm assuming the apps are actually the best practices. Using the authenticator apps, because it also makes me much less worried about people stealing your SIM, hijacking your SIM or hijacking your Gmail. Same problem, So a blue shield to your profile. That's interesting. But what? You got to go to India for it? Oh, you're right. Maybe they know. Nathan's not. Is Nathan not here tonight? I think they can smell him. I read my phone before bed, so I'm reading political news. So I'm on Twitter, and I'm usually reading Ukraine updates, which is really pathetic, and all the political news updates of the day, which I probably shouldn't be doing at 11:30 at night. I'm going to guess is this live or is this Memorex, John Sarge? What do you mean? I'm telling you, they only show up when Nathan is here. It's absolutely true. Absolutely true. I've read fiction over the years. I haven't done it lately. I probably should. I actually have some nonfiction fiction that I really like. I don't know what do you call it? Historical fiction, but it's there's this interesting book that was written about like a day in the life of ancient Rome, because I love Greco-Roman society, very into. The Greeks because I'm Greek, and Rome because I fell in love with Italy, and the so I just kind of keep putting it off. but I've been wanting to read it because it just takes you literally through having talked to all the experts, a day through a typical Romans day, through society, which and also they have pictures or paintings of drawings of typical homes, the nice people's homes, how they were decorated, the colors that they used on the statues, all that crazy stuff, so very interesting. So all right, guys. Yeah, I'm going to sign off. Hopefully the doctor's appointment is well tomorrow. And I'm going to have some brownies with ice cream tonight. That will make me happy for sure. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Hopefully, I know for the Europeans, it's late. I apologize. It'll be an 8:00 show tomorrow. 8 p.m. Eastern. Otherwise, Friday will be normal. Saturday, I've just got to decide. Like I said, if I take the weekend off, or maybe I take Monday and Tuesday off, but I got to take a couple days off. I'll check with Syndicate too, because probably better to take a day that is better or worse for him. If your weekends are worse, because since you're my man. All right, yeah. Thanks, guys. All right, I'm going to sign off. I am getting more tired there. Wow. I'm going to sign off, and I will set the new one up for tomorrow right now. Okay. All right. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, mods. Today was particularly exciting. What do you do? All right. Good night, John Sarge. Everybody else. Bye. Ooh, you got to put a ring on it now. I know, or I'm going to lose you. Exactly. Hey, you know what they say? Why buy the cow when you get the milk for free, Syndicate? That's one of our expressions here. Actually, I will ask them. Do they have that expression in any other language? Did they say it in the UK? Why buy the? Now, usually they use it for women, for guys not getting married, and for women who put out. And the lesson for them was men don't buy the cow when they get the milk for free. So in other words, you shouldn't have premarital sex. I kind of use it for everything. So, but it's a great expression. Why buy the cow when you get the milk for free? But this is all actually, I used it with the trolls whenever they said, under Donald Trump, Putin didn't invade Ukraine. And I said, why buy the cow when you get the milk for free? Same idea. Why go to war when you've already got the United States helping you with everything? So I thought it worked well. Well, I figured Australia. Okay, Australia. Yep. Anyway, all right, guys. I'm yawning too much. Goodbye. This was fun. Teaching you another idiom.